All right, here we go. Dagurtha at Levelcap. Almost. You'll see those are quite some hefty red clip crits with some exclamation marks. I will go over the video. I will go over the build at the end of the video. But the way it's working is I've just stacked on as much critical chance investment as possible onto the dual talks, and then relied on her critical damage as well as arcane crepuscular to get as much crit damage and crit chance as possible. I'm using a Cascadia overcharge. That's why I didn't hit reds right there. I got hurt. I needed to rolling guard, which is one of the only times it happens in this run. But yeah, Cascadia overcharge instead of crescendo, really just for ease of use. I'd rather just have the flat 300 easily by just having overshields. I'm gonna have overshields a lot of the time, almost 100% of the time, honestly, because I'm either invisible or immune on this build. I'm using Cyto9 Seek, so right there, Seek drops off, and I'm able to bust it right back up. And her Grave Spirit, which I'm using the Grave Spirit augment, so I have immunity as well, is now off cooldown. I need whatever 25 kills or whatever it is to get it back up. And if I hit it right here, this video is being recorded in post, so I wanted to do it this way because I want to review my own gameplay and try to improve. I figure why not just go ahead and upload videos like this as well. But at some point there, I hit her Grave Spirit again. So right now I am immune with a massive critical damage buff. I'm also getting the critical damage buff from the Arcane I just said earlier, I believe. Not Crescendo, Crepuscular. Golly, these freaking Arcanes. But so yeah, it's just a lot of damage. And you'll see a lot of these enemies are dying without any viral procs on them, with and without Doom being up. Like right here, Doom is off. Let's see. I pop it back up. But I mean, look at that. Those guys, unless I just, yeah, no, they're not viraled. It's just enough damage to kill them regardless. So Nourish, completely not needed with Doom. Doom is a complicated ability, but the easiest way to think about the way it works is it will just insta-kill the enemy if you've dealt half of their health. So that's the most straightforward way to think about it. Once the enemy hits half health, within that period of time that Doom accumulates damage, it just works out that once you hit them at half health, it's dealt enough damage to then just insta-kill them at that point. So every single enemy is at half the normal health they'd be at. Additionally, after all these armor changes, enemies are just softer, especially going into level cap. I'm using the Magistar right here. I didn't have stacks on it, that's why it took 2 slams to kill that Acolyte, but I mean, we're at level cap, and yeah, my Magistar, I do have a pretty good Riven for her. I do have a pretty good Riven for the Dual Talks as well. But I wouldn't say they're absolutely required to do exactly what you're watching right here. With the Magistar, you might not get the craziest. It may be different with the Magistar. I'm not entirely sure. I will show everything at the end of the video. But let's see if I don't botch this. It worked out fine. Operator Arcanes, I don't believe at the end of this video I showed, but I'm using the one that Magus Cloud to be able to hit this stuff easier. And then I think I still have Magus Lockdown equipped. Apart from that, I'm using the typical level cap, the 2 Arcanes for your amp that deal the most damage. I can't remember whether Magus Anomaly, Magus Eradicate. I think those are the 2. I can't remember the ones, but they're the ones everyone uses and are the most meta. Here I die, so I wish I was watching right there, but easy to get back up. That's why I leave Thrax around just in case. It's not worth putting that death on your record. But yeah, I think I just both of them timed out at the same time. Sometimes with like a build like this, you're doing like nothing. You're not having to shield gate. You're not having to really like do anything other than focus on getting headshot kills in this case, that it can be a little tricky to just remember the simplest things every now and then, when your abilities go off cooldown. But anyways, yeah, you'll see all these Thrax alive. I just didn't feel like killing them, honestly. I figured why not just let a couple build up and I'll just wipe them all out in one fell swoop later on, which is honestly just a good way to approach this when you're solo. Let's see how this goes. I don't have Grave Spirit up. So yeah, that's no Doom, and I mean this is the dual tox. That being said, that critical damage is. I haven't been able to do that with the dual tox without. Normally with the dual tox, I use corrosive and nourish. It's really like the most meta dual tox build. I'm using whatever the heck the magnetic mod is for pistols now, and I'm not using punch through. I figured I'll just try it without punch through. Guys, you do not need punch through on the dual tox as bad as everyone says you do. I mean, just watch this, it's nice to have. You'll get more AoE clear, and you can shoot through a pillar or a wall every here and there. I should be hitting I don't know why I'm not hitting Seek, but I'm slamming and hitting the shield and rolling just to get Grave Spirit back. And actually, I think I was tripping out. I think for some reason I thought Grave Spirit ended. Now it ended. So now I'm like, wait a minute, what? Yeah. So then I died again. It happens, especially when you've been playing for like an hour and a half to get you to this point. Sometimes you make little trip ups, but that's why we leave the ghost alive. I'm doing the same thing here now that Seek's up, just getting a couple slams. And yeah, that's no Doom. 15 seconds here. Looks like I decided to leave that Exilizer. I had to think about it for a second, but I thought I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna leave it, and I ended up taking it. I wasn't sure how long it had been getting taken for, but let's see here. I'll just get we'll hit that Spirit. Don't have the invis up, so things are falling apart. But yeah, I mean, you'll see just how effective these kills are. Alright, what do I do here? Slam, slam, he's dead. I don't know what that body is doing right there. It's like impaled in midair on nothing. The exclamation marks are what I wanted, because I'm not entirely sure. I think I tried to scan speed. I'm not entirely sure how Arcane Crepuscular works. I know you get 3x crit damage per crit tier. I don't know if it scales past flat reds into red with exclamation marks, so 400 crit chance or whatever. I imagine it does. So that's why I wanted to go for the exclamation marks. And I can't remember the name of the mod right now, but it's not one I would normally use. It's the one that you have to stack headshot kills with, but I figured it'd be super easy to do, and obviously it is with the dual tox on this build. I exchanged like Prime Ravage for it. I still have like a 10x multiplier without Prime Ravage with my Riven, so I figured that's probably getting, I mean, who knows, somewhere like 20. It's probably like freaking 20x. With everything that's going on, I think I just go ahead and clear some guys out here, and of course cop the death for it. Get him back. I'm sure I see I have Grave Spirit ready, so I'll probably pop it right here. Yeah, I don't know when it even happened, but I did pop it right there. What I should be doing is hitting word sides more often. There's no reason not to, especially with Seek on my 4th ability. I've retained the damage redirection that Doom and word sides share together. Word sides will deal some of the Doom damage that you've accumulated during the time that they're spooling up around you, and the damage per the wordage of the ability is revisited upon that enemy that you dealt the damage on. So from what I've been able to tell, the word side doesn't like go hit other random enemies, and since you've accumulated like 10 million damage on someone, it redistributes that to like everyone around. It doesn't do that. It'll only redistribute the damage onto the enemy you're hitting, but it'll just allow for even quicker deaths on the enemy you're shooting. So really, anytime you're like just gearing up and getting a sight line on anyone, you should be just hitting her first ability. You start shooting, and then the sides will just hit in addition to everything going on. And that was kind of there's one other benefit that you keep by not getting rid of Doom. And then of course there's also just her horses. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you got a bill for the horses that you've taken to Levelcap, let me know. But they just don't work. Like, I've done everything to try to make them work. They do a lot of damage, and they scale really hard. I've used the Kubrau that makes you invis with that build. I've made it as powerful as I could mathematically figure out, and it just doesn't. It's just really energy hungry in the first place. So I ended up using like a lot of efficiency mods, and having to sacrifice like one mod I wanted, and there's with no way to fit it otherwise. I don't remember what it was, but it just boom, look at that guy go. It just wasn't working out for me for anything other than just typical star chart stuff. But I may mess around with it a little bit more and try to take it to level cap. I think what I would need would be, it's weird because like I feel like I would need the Panzer to help spread more viral procs. Even though her abilities deal viral, they don't like get to max stacks really easily. So, but I can't bring the Panzer because I need to bring a companion that keeps me invisible while I can spam abilities. So I don't know. I might keep messing around and thinking about it. Right here, I actually hit my Bubonic. I'm using Bubonic as a primer. It has viral on it, so that tells you that. I didn't even use it because without viral stacks, everything was dying so fast, which is what I was thinking would happen based on like the just my intuition on putting this build together. But the Bubonico, I'm like, I'm gonna bring it just in case things don't go right. But it's got corrosive, viral, and cold on it, and magnetic, I think, and enough multi-shot that it will just it'll just max all those out. I don't know what I was doing right here. I think I was just playing around, like seeing what. I'm just hitting Magistar hits. Yeah, I'm just having fun. I was just bored of shooting heads, so I'm just hitting Magistar hits because I've got enough time on my Seek. And then, of course, I'm just trying to get my Seek back up. I thought about bringing the ceramic dagger and doing a crescendo build, and I may do that next time. I wanted the comfort of the Magistar for this run. I'm sure I would just be obliterating acolytes with the dual talks anyways, so the Magistar isn't as needed. I'd also get a little bit more parkour velocity if I brought the ceramic dagger, but then I would need a primary weapon to stack up the ceramic dagger's perk, which the Bubonico would work out for a little while. But I think at some point in this run, if I remember right, I'm like shooting the Bubonico with a primer build at it's right now. It's right now. Yeah, it's once something accumulates enough, it might be. Oh, it's Doom. When Doom accumulates to half health, they insta die. Their health bars insta drop. So it's doable. Even at level cap, you could get a couple like little low health enemies into finishers, or just heavy attack with a knife. If you do a heavy attack with any dagger in this game, it will auto proc a finisher. I didn't know that until like a week ago. But that's how you can get those really easily with the dagger. And then you can, I guess, just like shoot the Bubonico for a little while. And you'd be at 12x. So you could bring melee crescendo if you wanted to. But in my case right here, I just was like, nah, I'm just going to get 300% crit chance by just tapping my first ability and bring what I want, which was a full primer build Bubonico, like no point blank, no nothing to make it really do anything other than just dump status procs. Let's see how this kill goes. Nice. Nice. All right. And I don't think Grave Spirit was up on that. Yeah. What do we do here? Hit Grave Spirit. Let's try this now. Missing. There. It's like 4 actual bullets that hit the head and insta kill them at level cap. Pretty fun. Electric dot. Yeah, I stopped putting I stopped putting toxin mods onto the dual tox once this new update hit with the armor changes a couple months back. It felt like it needed it before when you were like just really needing to kill one of those Thraxes that had his back turned and you couldn't hit him in the head. But nowadays, just those electric dots just hit so much harder. If you just remove your toxin mod from the dual tox and just make it so that you have to hit those headshots to get the corrosive to proc, it just works so much better now. So you don't need to be thinking that you need to put raw corrosive on in the first play. A lot of people do that. It's not needed at all anymore. So also the electric DOT like puts them in the most headshotable stance ever. So as you're missing those headshots, they just go and their head comes up, and you can just float, recoil right out the chain, and just pop them in the head real good. So yeah, but like I mentioned earlier, I really should be hitting my first ability quite a lot more. It also just slows everybody down, which is really beneficial when you're just trying to think and just trying to move and navigate. Where'd these guys go? I hit the Bubonico there and it was just like done. Give me a hit. There we go. Acolyte looks like it's spawning. I don't have my sound on at all, so it's interesting watching this back with no sound. Here he goes. I should have gone ahead and just got stacks on the Matastar by now. I don't even know where he is. I guess he's... Oh, I couldn't tell you. I guess he's through that door. I just don't... Oh, he's right there. Duh. So yeah, it looks like I'm confused. Shadow Vanks is also just spawned. That might have been the Shadow Vanks. I don't know, dude. This is why I like just slamming the Matastar on the floor when stuff gets hectic. Just whatever's standing on 2 feet, just die. Look at that. I've taken a lot of stuff to Levelcap, and I'll be uploading more footage. But this is some of the fastest kill speed that I've been able to get out of the dual tox. I want to say I have gotten faster kill speed out of the Furus, just because. But yeah, I have gotten faster kill speed out of the Furus because there's plenty of ways to mod the Furus so that the first DOT tick just insta kills them. And what's nice about that is they can be immune, like in their immune little BS, and you can be spraying them with it, and then as soon as they're whatever the opposite of immune is, vulnerable, immune. As soon as they're immune, you can as soon as they're immune, they take the DOT and die. So here I go extracting, and I don't know what I did to show everything off, but I'll try to talk over it, make it all make sense. I've already explained a good little bit, but you'll be able to actually like pause on the mods and whatnot. So yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah, check the drip, equipment, arsenal. All right, so yeah, precision and crepuscular. So brief respite's required. Prime sure-footed, of course. Blind rage is my only strength mod. It's all that's needed. Spectral spirit, you need a lot of duration. I need catalyzing shields for when shit goes wrong. Duration. Equilibrium, you need. Don't try to mess around with the shards. Just put the big one on. Prime flow, rolling guard. That seals it all out. And like I said, don't use their horses. And you could use something else instead of rolling guard. For me, it's what I needed. But if you're better than me, you can use whatever else. More strength is not that necessary. You already get 200 crit damage. But yeah, we want to go primer build. Just it's whatever. Don't worry about the ribbon. It's just multi-shot fire rate, I think. God, I'm going quick. Galvanized crosshairs with lethal torrent, and the Panzer 60% speed gives you enough fire rate. Galvanized shot for status chance and extra damage. All the crit stuff. Magnetic for crit damage and everything. Yeah, you can see what's going on here. Overcharge is what I liked. But yeah, crosshairs was a surprise. And yeah, again, the whole thing is you're stacking as much critical chance as possible to get as red as possible to get more and more crit damage out of the arcane on her. Here's the Magistar. God, I'm just spamming around. I wish I showed that ribbon easier. Sorry. It's crit chance, crit damage, electric though. And then the Panzer I should show soon, but no. 2 casting speed, 2 parkours, and then yeah, I use one of these. Maybe not needed, but I like the comfort of knowing it's there. This just gives me 60% fire rate and even more critical damage. That's my favorite build right there. The claws aren't really, nothing's really going on. God, I must have been like tweaking off the caffeine when I was doing this. Like, Yep. So yeah, I guess I was just saying right here, you could use any companion because the companion wasn't really that needed.